So welcome to the mini hackathon. Quite a different experience from the normal ROADs that ROADs everyone else is used to. Usually it's in person, a lot more intimate and a lot more fun. But that doesn't mean that we can have some fun today virtually. My name is Ali Kajavi. I'm the program manager at Intilab, which is a pre-accelerator at Qatar Sports Tech, which is an accelerator program for sports technology startups. So our Intilab program aims to find local talent with great ideas and great entrepreneurs and bring them together to develop those sports tech ideas, pre-accelerate them and get them to an accelerator program to help be part of the leading sports hub initiative of Qatar. With that being said, I would also like to welcome Shema Ibrahim, which is our operations associate at Intilab, and Ryan Fodil, which is the program associate. This can't be possible without them, and also the QDB team that's working day and night for the past, we don't know how many weeks to prepare this. So with that being said, let me just share my screen. I'm going to take everyone through a bunch of slides that we've all worked on to go and be a part of this hackathon. Let me just get into presentation mode here. All right. Excellent. Let me just take another sneak peek. I think we have enough participants to get started. Just wondering, it's about 6:02. Maybe I'm going a little bit too early to tell. Maybe I could continue to talk about the pre-accelerator a little bit while we get a couple of other people that could join us. Few of the folks here that we already crossed paths with. If we haven't, Doha is quite a small city relative to where I'm from, Montreal, Canada, and would love to meet some of you. We're at Aspire, where our Sports Accelerator office is here. We have quite a big team, and we actually have a cohort that will be flying in from around the world in the next coming week, which is going to be our third cohort. So if ever you are in Aspire and you'd like to pass by to come say hi, that'll be pretty exciting for us and to meet you. We also do throw these hackathons quite often. I think until now we've had about 8 that we've participated in the last 2 years. We will be doing many more, inshallah. So keep your eyes out for that. All right, the participant count is increasing. So there's always that debate of should we start now or should we wait for a few more? I think we'll wait 1 or 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. So the idea here is to do a mini hackathon. So how we would do it, whether it was in person or virtually, is that we'd all be in a room. I would go through these slides as I will right now and basically start almost provoking everyone to have some creative juices flowing in terms of ideation, using some ideation exercises, and to try to tackle some of the challenges that we aim to solve here at Qatar Sports Tech, and to see if any of them resonate with you, and if you'd like to carry them over into the pre-accelerator. We're happy to say that we have 10 of those fine folks that have started this week from our past hackathons. And they will be joining us for the next 11 weeks as we get them prepared for selection day. So that's the idea here. There is a trajectory that we would like to follow. And I think that trajectory can go a long way. Nice to see people joining. Let's see here. All right, so we're about almost 6:05. About a 5-minute leeway to kind of get in there. And I'll try to go off a little bit slower off the beginning until other people should go in. Like I said, for those of you that just joined, my name is Ali Kajavi. I'm the program manager at Intilab, the first ever sports pre-accelerator in Qatar. We also have with us today Shema bin Ibrahim, So she is our operations associate, and she's the person behind a lot of these hackathons and all the hard work. And we also have Rayan Fodil, who is the program associate, where many of you should have received an email from her. She helps out a lot in helping move the program forward. Now, let's get started. This thing, all right, goes to the next slide. So what is the innovation process? A lot of us are hearing, we need to be innovative. We need to think about the next thing, the next Uber, the next Airbnb. And so how it looks like, if we were just to put it into chunks and simplify it, it would be in 4 steps. There's discovering problems. So, let's say in the case of Uber, the fact that taxis did not have GPS, were not very easy to call or coordinate with. That was a problem. Defining the scope. So what would it solve, and what technologies could we use to fix that problem? And then develop the value proposition. What do we need to make the customers happy and the people happy? And then finally is deliver the solution that works. What we want to do here in terms of ideation today is this sweet spot right here, right between defining the scope and developing the value proposition. This is where all the dreams come true, or all the magic happens, as they would say. Now, another term that I want to share with you guys and gals is disruption. We hear that quite a lot. And nowadays, with startups growing like unicorns, we hear the word disruption. And so what disruption means is when innovative use of technology outperforms antiquated businesses by solving problems more efficiently. Now that's as they would call a dictionary definition. In more layman terms, it's changing the way things are to do them in a better way. That's just simply put. And that's, again, going back to Uber, going back to Airbnb, and going back to a lot of the examples that we might cover today. Speaking of Uber, this is a good example. The largest taxi service in the world owns no cars. That's changed, going from back in the day where the medallion concept was there and you had to own your own cars and your own licenses to operate for each car. Uber came and disrupted that. Airbnb is the largest hotel chain in the world and owns no real estate. That's interesting. And then you have Facebook, the largest media owner in the world, and creates no content. So these are things to reflect on when we're thinking about disruption. The way things are done nowadays doesn't necessarily mean they need to continue to be that way forever. Now, this is the disruption formula. There is no perfect or magical formula. There are only theories, but in this theory, what we want to kind of understand is what are the different components to create disruption. So you need a market need, problem people would pay to solve, okay? Notice problem people would pay to solve, okay? That's always going to be a factor that's always important to consider, or else the business isn't going to be feasible. Technology is the next one, and that's the tool which solves the problem. A lot of times the technology is not there yet, and we need time to get it there. And that's something we have to be cognizant of. Next thing is models, the way technology is applied. Okay, sometimes you do have the tech, but it's just not applied well. I'll give you an example, iPad. Before the iPad, there was the tablet, and it just wasn't being applied properly, and it wasn't being used until Apple came and simplified it and used the functionalities of more of a phone rather than a computer, which the tablet was infamous for. And then you have communication, the way information is exchanged. This is important. Just let's look at today, right? If you were to read these slides by yourself, it might not be as straightforward. By me adding some verbal notes and messaging and taking the time to explain, the communication is important. And that goes in marketing and branding and all that fun stuff. And the last component is business, the way money comes into play, right? At the end of the day, we're an economy. Anywhere you go in the world, it flows and grows with money. So make sure you have that factored in. All right, still got some people joining. Welcome. Now, the examples that I gave you guys earlier, just to give you an idea of the different components of that formula. So if you look at the technology and it's an app, nowadays it's a very common thing that we're using, and it's crowdsourced. So the crowdsourcing is people coming together, whether it's drivers or whether it's people that are riding, and the communication is in real time. Okay, that's something that is extremely helpful that didn't exist before. And then you have business, it's per demand. So each time you use an Uber, you pay for it. And so this is very clear, easily understandable, and it's functional. If you look at Airbnb, traditionally it was off PC. Nowadays, you can also say that you use the app. User experiences is good. Mind you, now with the COVID-19, it's a little bit trickier, although Airbnb did do a pivot, which is quite impressive, which is another subject on its own, which I won't get into today. Crowdsourcing again, so you have homeowners and you have people that are renting, and the communication is a little bit delayed. So you have to be conscious of that. It's not immediate. It's not as if you book and you walk right into the apartment or the condo or the cottage. There's some communication involved, so there is a delay there. And then you have, again, per demand. And then lastly, another example, just to kind of get the juices flowing, is Facebook. It did start off with PC, ended up being, of course, used a lot more on mobile. Social network is the model, which is very normal nowadays, but that was a new concept of its own back then, along with MySpace. Real time and delayed. So you could do real time. As far as you can see nowadays, you even have a live stream on Instagram, which is a part of Facebook. And then you also have the delayed versions of messaging and answering when you would like. And the revenue model, the business until now has been ads. All users, all billion users use the app free of charge, but they sell their privacy in an ethical way, hopefully, to get the type of ads they're looking for. All right, seeing some some people joining in. For those that are joining in, we're just covering the concepts of disruption, ideation, different models that have been used in the past, just to kind of help gain perspective. Don't worry, you haven't missed too much. We're about to get into the exercises soon. So like we covered earlier in this exercise, we have the 4 components where there is discover the problems, which is the first step. And that's the thing that we want to focus on, and then get into define, and then hopefully, inshallah, develop the value propositions. First thing you want to do when you want to identify a problem, it's very easy to find problems, but you want to make sure they're real problems and they're easy to understand. So you want to define your problem statement. And for those of you that are able to note this down, or at least remember this is what we're going to use in our exercises. So it's very straightforward. What the exercise we're going to do, and I'm going to give you some examples before we get into it, is how do we, and then you provide the action, the subject for a certain amount of users. Now, in this format, it's kind of hard to understand, so I'm going to provide you a few examples. How we want to define some problem statements are as follows. How do we encourage exercise for teenagers? Very straightforward, right? In a world where we have technology taking away our attention for unlimited amount of time, we are losing the sense of exercise, health, and importance. So this is a real problem. How do we encourage exercise for teenagers? As simple as that. That is a real problem that's worth solving. Let's look at another one. How do we increase investments for sports clubs? Okay. So if you're in the field, investments are always hard. They may look like they're easy with all the press releases that we see with great investments being done or big clubs being bought, but how about the smaller clubs? How about the medium-sized clubs? How about the clubs that haven't won for quite a bit of time, right? So that's a real problem. Need some expertise behind it to solve, but a real one. Another example that you could look at, how do we improve experience for fans? Being in Qatar, we're expecting, just about 5 million people to come into this country in about 2 years exactly. We got to improve that experience. There's going to be a lot of challenges along the way, from checking into their hotels, to getting to those stadiums, to waiting for the matches to start, to leaving those stadiums. And all of that is just an experience. And those are fans, 5 million fans coming into the country. So again, define your problem statement. Very simple. How do we just define an action, a subject, and then for a user, okay? Try to understand this flow, because in just a few moments, I'm gonna ask everyone to go ahead and do these for particular categories. And I'll explain the categories in just a second. What we wanna also do is define the scope. What do we mean by defining the scope? These are the challenges, these are the scopes. Here at Qatar Sports Tech, we want to make sure we're focused on real problems, real verticals, and real scopes that come hand in hand with the 2030 vision that Qatar has, and the ambition of being the world's leader in sports hub, basically, leading sports hub. So I'll go through these challenges with you. The first one is the athlete and the team. So what are the different things that you could look at when you're looking at athletes and teams? Team performance and analytics. A huge one is sports medical. So you have Aspitar, which is it's a beautiful sports-focused hospital here in Aspire. If you haven't had a chance to go take a look, it's one of a kind. And it does everything from injury prevention, rehabilitation, increasing performance. And so that's a lot of different things that Aspire is driving forward, and needs innovative new technology to take it to the next level. And then finally, you have wearables and equipments. As we see the different ways that the experience is changing for athletes and for teams as they get more advanced, as they perform at a higher level, has changed over the years. So that's when it comes to athlete and team, those are the type of problems we want to solve. When it comes to the fan and viewer, what we want to be conscious of is the fan experience. That's, at the end of the day, for any customer, for any client, the experience is the most important thing. So anything that helps enhance fan experience is a top priority or top problem to solve. Fan engagement, okay? Just because they're going through a good engagement experience doesn't mean that we should ignore the engagement. How can we get them more engaged, more involved? Simple things that can make the experience fun and engaged. And then transform media. So, to give an example, maybe our grandfathers and grandmothers would listen to the World Cup on the radio before TV was a common, or great grandfathers at this point. And then transformed to TV, and then it became color. And now it's, you got VR, and then of course, in real world experience has also changed. So that's when it comes to fan and viewer. In terms of mega sports event, this is pertaining things like the World Cup and other sports events that are at a very extreme level, and things like operation and in-stadium experience, which is important. Entertainment, as you could see, one of the most famous ones in the US is the American football, the Super Bowl, and you see those great halftime shows that have become so famous around the world. Then you have the sustainability. Sustainability is extremely important. You got a lot of people coming in, a lot of people going out. how is this going to be done in a sustainable way? And then you have fan zones. Speaking of the quantity of the people, you know, and these are all parts of the experience. And then you have cashless sports events, and then venue management. Those are the things that you could start thinking of. And then the last category, which is a little bit unconventional and a little bit out of left field, but we do want to embrace it, understand it, acknowledge it, and develop it, is esports. It's a performance analytics, event streaming and management, interaction and content management, intelligent virtual assistants, and gaming platforms. And this is all going hand in hand to these big esports activities, activations, World Series competitions, and just a lot of people being online and playing these video games online as a new form of competition in sports. This is important to acknowledge and to understand, because these are at the same level as mega sports events in stadiums nowadays, especially during this virtual era of COVID. So I'm sure that a lot of you here, quite a few people here now, we're about 30, so you all have, each of these categories may resonate better or more familiar with you. So some of you might come from a gaming background, or understand mega sports events better, or tend to be, you know, very committed fans and understand the fan experience. But what we want to do today is kind of think far and wide and try to develop on each idea, because when you're developing ideas, you never know what you're going to stumble across. So what we want to do right now, we want to take 10 minutes, and everyone in this room will be asked to do this exercise, to give it a shot to win this challenge today. And I'm going to tell you it towards the end what we're going towards. We're going to work 10 minutes on each one of these categories, and we're going to use the same structure that I showed you here. So it's how do we, action, subject, and for which user for each of these categories, okay? So we're going to start right now with athlete and team. You have 10 minutes. What I'll do is I'll play a screensaver that's going to have a timer on it, and we'll reconvene in 10 minutes. And I'll give the examples for the next exercise. But before I do that, let's start off with the first one. The athlete and team is the one that we want to focus for this following 10 minutes. Again, team performance and analytics, sports medical, wearables and equipment. And we provided some examples here for you to follow along. So for example, how do we prevent injuries for athletes? How do we analyze performance for athletes? How do we increase data collection for teams? These are practical ones that you could use. And these are ones that you can, so actually, we do have some hands raising. Because unmuting and muting the mics might be a little bit complicated, throw any questions that you have in the Q&A box at the bottom, and Shema and Ryan will be responding to any questions that you may have. What I would tell everyone here is if you can screenshot this page or just note it down, and we're gonna just, you know, everyone should have received this deck by email along with the instructions that we're gonna be following today. So if you do not have access to this deck already, just take a screenshot of it, or just note down the simple format of how do we, the action, the subject, and for the users. This is going to come handy when you're doing this exercise. We're going to spend 10 minutes trying to figure out, the athlete and team problems out there that we could solve. And we're going to start now. If you have any questions, please go ahead and drop it in the Q&A section of this chat. You should be able to find it somewhere, I believe, on the bottom, if I'm not mistaken. And the Shema and Ryan and myself will answer you in the chat. All right, so best of luck. Here goes 10 minutes.
All right. Starting 10-minute timer. 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. Five minutes to go. One minute to go. Thirty seconds to go. Hey, timer is done. Hope you had a great session. All right.
All right, everyone. So that was the first exercise. Basically, we're going to be doing 4 of these, and we had some questions coming in earlier. And what I want to let everyone know is that typically in a workshop setting, you would everyone have pieces of paper to write these down. But in this context, you could use any paper or your laptops or anything that you can write with that's at your disposal for this. It doesn't need to look pretty. This is for your own exercise. But this information that you're going to be writing is going to be used for the next stage of using the concept cards to submit your final idea. What we're going through right now is the ideation phase. And so we're trying to get many ideas, 5, 10, 20 ideas. And so we wanted to solve as many as we can. And so now we want to move over to the second category, which is the fan and viewer. And what we want to do here together is talk about the different problems that fans can experience. So here's a couple. How do we personalize the experience for fans? How do we facilitate engagement for viewers? How do we enhance broadcasting for media? And this all has to do with the fans, the viewers, the fan experience, the fan engagement, and transform media. So for the next 10 minutes, I would like to ask everyone to again work on identifying as many as you can. Just because you identified one doesn't mean you need to stop. You could do 20 in 10 minutes, that's great. Ideation has no limits. So just push it to the limit that you can. And best of luck. And here goes another 10 minutes. See you soon.
All right. Starting 10-minute timer. 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go. 5 minutes to go. One minute to go. Thirty seconds to go. Hey, timer is done. Hope you had a great session. All right.
All right. There we go. So that was 2 out of 4 sessions that we need to complete before we get to the next stage. I know it's in the later part of the day, and maybe the energy is a little bit down. So let's keep toughing through, and let's try to get through the rest of these exercises. One of the things that is good when you're in person is there's coffee. So if you didn't have a coffee before, maybe you could sneak one in and try to get that caffeine boost towards the end of the day. For those that are still going at it, good job. Keep the creative juices flowing. What I would ask you to do now is now start focusing on mega sports events. So what you want to do is solve the problems that, or some of the problems that may overlap in operations and stadium experiences, entertainment, sustainability, fan zones, cashless sports events, venue management, and the sorts. And so here's a few examples. So when it comes to mega sports events, how do we enhance crowd management for stadiums? As you know, there's quite a few thousand people coming into a stadium, and managing them is always a challenge. So a lot of room for improvement there. Speaking about improvement, how do we improve fan zones for fans? You know, that experience could always be better, could always be more exciting and engaging. And so that's something you could work on. And in terms of the last one here that I want to go over is how do we ensure cashless events for fans? You know, this concept of carrying cash with you is starting to fade out. And so we want to kind of see how we could assist for people that just want to kind of use their mobiles or cards and cashless events. So those are some ideas. Again, please use your own pen and paper or laptop, what you've been using until now to do this. You should have received this deck already in your email. If you haven't, just take a screenshot of it, take a picture of it on your phone to have it as while you do the exercise. I will be moving over to the screensaver again for another 10 minutes. I do apologize if there isn't some of the music that you're looking for. I wanted to just keep away the awkward silence and have a timer there for you. So please feel free to lower the volume or mute it if you just want to concentrate on your exercise, but keep an eye out on the timer. We will be back in 10 minutes to finish the last ideation session before we go over the concept card. And let's get started.
All right. Starting 10-minute timer. 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. 5 minutes to go. All right. Starting 10 minutes. One minute to go. Thirty seconds to go. Hey, timer is done. Hope you had a great session. All right.
All right. Good job, everyone. Hope you're making some good progress along the way. And we reached the last ideation exercise, which is on esports. And like I mentioned before, the realm of online gaming and competition and global events, whether it's virtual or in person, have grown tremendously over the last decade. And Qatar has been hosting some of the biggest games here in the Khalifa Stadium and other areas, as we've seen. So that will increase to grow, and that demand will grow throughout the world. So that is a real opportunity, and of course, some problems along the way to solve. So what are the type of things that you can consider while doing this ideation exercise? Here's a few. Performance analytics, event streaming and management, interaction and content management, intelligent virtual assistants, and gaming platforms. All these things can be discovered, analyzed, understood, and solutions provided for those problems. But here are a few examples for you to kind of get the creative juices flowing. So what we got here is, how do we maximize streaming outreach? Okay, that's a good one to consider for viewers. Another one is, how do we analyze performance for esport gamers? Okay, that's one way to help them get better and enhance their performance. And another one could be, how do we enhance in-game experience for esport athletes and teams? So this is something that some of the ones that do play games can understand how valuable this could be for the esport athletes and teams to really get more into the game, get more into the details and the performance, and at the end they enhance that experience for them to perform better. So please, like I've mentioned before, if you've not received the deck, which most of you, if not all of you, should have received from Ryan in the past few hours today, take a screenshot of this or take a picture with your phone and to remember the exercise. And we want you to kind of come up with as many of these as you can in the next 10 minutes, okay? And towards the end, we're going to pick the one that you like the most and fill out a concept card for your chance for you to win an opportunity to join the pre-accelerated cohort 2 at Intilab, and which will be considered and shortlisted, and an opportunity to win an Apple Watch. Thank you, and enjoy the remaining part of this ideation. Here we go for another 10 minutes.
All right. Starting 10-minute timer. 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. 5 minutes to go. 1 minute to go. Thirty seconds to go. Hey, timer is done. Hope you had a great session.
Let's
All right.
back into what we want to discuss as the next steps. So I'm happy to have all of you continue stay along with us for this first ever mini hackathon virtual ROAD experience. Typically we would do it in person, as I mentioned earlier, but this time around we're doing it virtually at the comfort of our homes. And so I hope the experience is still enjoyable. For those of you that are still with us, this is the final stage. And basically what we have done until now is try to get as creative as possible in identifying as many problems and opportunities within the 4 different categories that we spoke of earlier. And what we want to do now is pick our favorite one. So let's say in each one you were able to come with 1 or 2 problems or 5 or 10 of them. What you need to do now is make that tough decision of picking your favorite one, the one that resonates with you the most, but most importantly, fits some of these criteria a lot better than the other ones. So let's go through them. And what we want to do is, what are we submitting here? It's a concept card. I want to just go through it together. So what you want to do is submit your best idea by filling out this concept card. What you're going to do is you're going to visualize your idea. So typically if we're in person, you'd be able to do a sketch or some sort of a flow here. But because of the limitations, and if you're not able to access this document, which was sent to you earlier, then what you could do is maybe draw it out and take a picture, and we'll give you an opportunity to upload it in a link that was sent to you previously by email, but we'll also send it to you again in this chat in a few moments. And then what you're going to do is you're going to move over to describing your customer. And then you're going to describe the problem. What value propositions do you offer them? And how do you plan to monetize those values? So let's get into it. So in terms of the idea, you want to describe your idea in 1 sentence, okay? This is the magical or the requirement of this concept card to simplify your winning idea. So for example, you say, my idea is to build an app for users that gives customized training schedules. Okay, now I know there's quite a few of them out there. This is just for the sake of simplicity understanding. Doesn't mean if your idea was this, it's not feasible, but this is an idea that could be acceptable in a simplified version. Okay, and if there's any design or anything comes along with it, this is an area for you to do that. Or like I said, you could draw it in whichever format fits your needs, save it and use it to upload it in the link that we'll provide to you in just a moment. From there, we want you to try to visualize your customers. Who is your target customers? Will you buy your solution? Who will buy your solution? So let's give you an example here with the same idea. Workout enthusiasts from all ages and genders, okay? This is a pretty wide target. You don't have to narrow it down for now, but just group it at a decent size. That's easier to understand. So not too narrow, not too wide, and as realistic as possible, okay? And then what you want to do is describe the problem. What is the problem that you are solving, okay? You want to limit, so here's an example that you want to kind of get out there if you're continuing the same idea. Limited access to gyms and personal trainers, especially now in COVID, right? Even more reason. So that's a good problem. It's an understandable one. It resonates with the customers that you've targeted, and your simplified idea, it can possibly solve this. Now, to even narrow it down further, what you need to do is talk about the value proposition. What value do you offer them? What is unique about your idea? Okay, so here's another example. The training schedule is customized according to the user's weekly measurements. Okay, now those measurements can be in many different ways, but we wanted to kind of simplify the answer and make it easily understood. There is some value there, there's a value proposition, and that's what you need to do with your idea. And the last thing, it's all about the Benjamins, as they say in the US. It's all about the money. If it's a business, if it needs to survive, it needs to be profitable or else you can't operate. So it must monetize. And how do you plan to monetize that value? Here's a couple of good questions to kind of help you develop that answer is, what is your business model? Where will you get the revenue from? Okay, so here's an example of an answer that you could provide: yearly and monthly subscription. So the model is a subscription model and the payments are done yearly or monthly. Okay, and that's a easy enough way to answer it. Now, here's an example of a 1 minute pitch of a concept card, because you will be asked, traditionally, if we had a stage and we were at a Rawad, you would have take another 10 minutes to finish this concept card. We would have hand you the mic, you get on stage and you go ahead and pitch your idea. But given the virtual circumstances, we're going to try something a little bit more unconventional and try to see if we can accomplish this, which I'll explain to you in just a second. But before I do, here's the idea or the way we expect you to finish the concept card today with us. If you were to follow the last steps that we provided, all the answers that you came up with go into the appropriate place, and then you submit your concept cards. Okay, now I'll explain to you how this can be done. But before I do that, remember that you want to be able to explain this concept card in a 1 minute pitch, 60 seconds. So you want to describe your customer, describe their problem, what value proposition do you offer them, and how do you plan to monetize that value? So if we were to say, this is my idea, very easy. Hi, my name is Ali. My idea is to build an app for users that gives customized training schedules. Our customers are workout enthusiasts from all ages and genders. The problem that we've defined today is limited access to gyms and personal trainers. And what we find unique about our value proposition is the training schedule that is customized according to the user's weekly measurement. The way we plan on monetizing in our business model is a subscription one, which is charged monthly or yearly. thank you, and then that's the 1 minute pitch. As easy as ABC. You want to get that message across, and it's quite impressive, and it's an idea I think that can ask judges or encourage judges to ask some questions and maybe gain some interest in the pre-accelerator program, right? And that's where we want to get you today. Obviously, we've had some time to prepare this. These examples aren't, extraordinary or super innovative. It's a lot harder than I've showed you today, but try your best. It's all about trying, and it's all about learning, and it's all about enjoying it while you do it. So I want to make a quick recap here, okay? What we're accomplishing right now is we were picking your favorite idea. We're going to fill out the concept card. Now, you have many options to fill out the concept card. One is you've already got the deck and you've already done it. Two, you've written it down on some sort of paper, which is still okay. And then the third and final one, which you need to complete, is that you will submit, and this is the third point, submit your concept card on the link provided by email or here on Zoom, okay? And then we'll call your name when it's your turn. So you're gonna take 10 minutes to complete that process, okay? You need to complete it within the next 10 minutes. And we'll call your name, and you only have 1 minute, like I showed you in the example, to pitch your idea. And please, when you submit your concept card, use the same name as Zoom for submission. For example, I'm looking at some of the participants here. We have, let's say, Sarah Al-Habibi. If she submits her card, she needs to say her name. Or if we have, let's pick another one, Afreem Youssef. Look at the name that is in your Zoom and make sure you write that for your form. So that way we can easily identify you. And the last thing is, please, when we call your name, raise your hand to make it easier to find you in the chat. This is the bottom button option on Zoom that you could find, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get into the 10 minutes to fill out the concept cards. I believe that the concept card is now sent to you via the link. You have two options. If you have the concept card already filled out, just press yes and upload. If you have not done it already, it's not a problem. Press no and fill it out in the form format. And it's not mandatory to upload the sketch. You could upload it if you like, using your phone to take the picture or whatnot. If not, you just write it out. The idea is to get those 5 sentences from you that describe your concept card and to get you back here in 10 minutes ready to pitch it to us. We will be on the call. If some of you, I'm not sure if you've seen the participant list. We do have our managing director Hiba on this call, and I do believe that we have one of the some of the other QST members like Abdullah Al-Khater who are here as well. They'll be hearing your pitches live. We will be doing the deliberation offline and getting back to you with the winner and the next steps of being shortlisted for the cohort 2 pre-accelerator, which will work with you along the months to get you into that selection day. So without further ado, please go ahead and fill out those concept cards, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
All right. Starting 10-minute timer. 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. 5 minutes to go. 1 minute to go. Thirty seconds to go. Hey, timer is done. Hope you had a great session.
All right. And that was it. There we go. So now it's going to be your turn to come up and pitch. I know there's a few submissions that came in. If you still haven't hit the submit button, you need to do it now in order for us to get those concept cards and start the pitch. What we're going to do now is I'm going to switch over. There we go. I was leaning into the camera a little bit more than I should have. So let me just get over here and get over to the submissions while they're getting ready. I want to let everyone know that, this is, again, a little bit more unconventional. Usually these type of ideation exercises are done in person. We have these cards all around the room, easier to fill and easier to get up on stage. So I do appreciate your patience, and I do appreciate your open-mindedness in doing it differently this time around. For those of you that have stayed until the end, this has been a one-way experience for me because I've been talking to you, but now this is an opportunity for you to talk to us through these concept cards, through your idea, and to pitch. You don't need to necessarily turn on your camera when you pitch. That is not an issue. The only thing that you might need to do is, of course, unmute your microphone and just briefly explain to us in 1 minute what is on your concept card and the 5 different components that you filled out. And then we'll have a better idea of what you've submitted and do the deliberation offline, and we'll reach out to you if you're the chosen. In the interest of time, because in about 22 minutes, this workshop session will be over. Now, I'm just waiting for my team here, Shema and Ryan, to send me a message to let me know of the ideas that are ready to be pitched. I think we have a few that are ready. And please, again, if you have not hit submit on the concept card, please do hit that button. I know we have a few that are being prepared as we speak and will be presented shortly. I'll take the opportunity again to thank everyone, thank the organizers from QDB and the team at ROAD, working on ROAD 2020. It's a different one. I experienced my first one 2 years ago, 2018. It's my first time in Doha, and happened to be Entrepreneurship Week, and it was quite an experience. It was eye-opening. I'm originally from Canada, and so to see so much drive and so much passion towards incubation and acceleration, especially all the initiatives that QDB is taking, is quite inspiring. And I got to say, from a person that's seen it from Canada, from even Silicon Valley, and has been behind quite a few ventures, this is quite a unique and lucrative opportunity where the QDB is really investing heavily in these initiatives. And so you won't be able to find these type of initiatives all around the world. And so it's worth taking advantage of and being involved in. And so I would encourage everyone in this room to continue exploring this ROAD conference and learning more about entrepreneurship and all the opportunities that still has the offer. All right, how is it looking from the team? We have three participants that have submitted. So not a bad conversion, a little bit more when it's in person. So when we're in person, an event of this size, I think we had just under 100 people register. I'm not sure how many people came in and out of the event while we were here, but in an in-person event, we would at least expect a few dozen applications. But we will still honor and respect the time of those that have stayed and those that have submitted their cards. I do see there are quite a few people in this room still. So if you haven't submitted your concept card, please do. I'm going to read out the three names that I see here. We have the one that's going to be going first is Mohammed Al-Mohannadi. Then we have Nidal Al-Hamadi. Sorry if I'm not saying the last names properly. And last one is Bahdan Al-Shamsuddin. So these are the three people we have. If you have submitted your card and I did not read your name, please let us know in the Q&A down below, and we'll make sure to figure that out. Yes. So thank you for that, Shema. So right now, when basically I say your name, there's a feature at the bottom of the, how would you say this? The feature, there's a bottom of Zoom that you could raise your hand. So just click that option. It's a function that you could do when you're in this chat for us to identify you. It's a rather small group now, and the names that I've read I see in the group chat, so we'll be able to easily identify you. When I call your name, you'll be unmuted and you will have 60 seconds to present your concept card. What we have done is actually we have put your concept card here. Oh, you got it. Perfect. So we're setting up the timer. Let me share my screen and let's get this ball rolling. So I got it. There we go. Screen. Let's get this ball rolling over here. So let's get into presentation mode. All right. I believe, let's just double check everyone's seeing my screen. Excellent. So I would kindly ask for the technical crew to unmute Mohammed Al-Mohannadi and prepare him to Assalamu alaikum, Mohammed. Are you available with us now?
Yeah, I think I'm available.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hear me?
I'm going to go over on your slide, and you have, when I hit the timer, you will have 60 seconds to go over your pitch. Okay, so here we go.
Okay. So, hi everybody. This is Mohammed Al-Mohannadi. I'm a communication expert. My main idea, the main problem that I'm trying to solve is the fan experience and the fan engagement between him and the team that he's actually cheering for. The main idea is to create an application where he could engage with his team, engage with the other fans in the community that he's cheering for, either at home if he couldn't come to the games, or at the place of the cheerings or the fan zones or etc. And as well, he could communicate and engage with his team virtually using different technologies like AR and other technologies that will be available for engagement. And as well, he can create content related to his team, and as well purchase e-engagement tools to cheer and engage.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mohammed. Your 1 minute is up. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We really appreciate your idea. It will be considered amongst all the other ideas. We will keep your submission and review it after the workshop as well. thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for contributing. And we will be reaching out to you to keep the relationship between you and QST moving forward, inshallah, with the second cohort of the pre-accelerator. Thank you for your time. Now, we would like to move on to the next speaker, which is Nidal. Can we get Nidal to be unmuted, please?
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. You hear me?
Walaikum assalam, Nidal. Happy to have you. I'm going to
Yes,
start
thank you.
and go on to your slide now. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Nidal Hamaidi. Okay. So the idea is to create a Qatari Gulf theme massive multiplayer game. It's our main customer is the esporters and gamers, basically in Qatar, in GCC, and in the Arab world mainly. And the age group, of course, we're looking is the males, teenagers to 30. The problems that there are big lack in the local games or games that is interactive, engaging, and massive, but talks and connects directly with the gamers in this area. The value we do is that it will be a Qatari or GCC themed in terms of buildings, units, like in the whole team, even the emotes, everything. Having new concepts and design that make it engaging and make it more interactive and more appealing to the people. And it will have a high quality, massive game player, which will focus mainly on the multiplayer experience. And we will monetize by making an app application for the game.
Excellent. Just at 1 minute. Nidal, thank you so much for that. And as mentioned, every speaker, your journey does not end here. The goal of this pre-accelerator and this initiative, Intilab, as the name says, is to launch, is to boost your idea and to take you to the next step. We believe in developing and building this community. We will consider your idea. We will review it with the team. There are most of our team on this call hearing the pitch offline and reach back out to you. We do keep in touch with all of our community and ecosystem to help develop their ideas for each pre-accelerator. And our next cohort will be launching in the summer next year, which will help you develop and get towards. With that being said, the next person that we're going to bring up is Bahdan. Please, if we can unmute Bahdan, please.
Yes, hello, hi, good evening, everyone.
All right, Bahdan, so you have 60 seconds starting as of now.
Yes, so my idea is to build an app for users that will provide an AR city quests with social gamification, where the users can go through the city, explore new places, and having a leaderboard where they can like compete between each other. So it's like for fan engagement and for fan activities, because knowing the problem that during the World Cup in Qatar, there will be like more than 500,000 visitors on a daily basis at the same time. And due to the limited places that will be available in Qatar during that time, it will be a good opportunity to like distribute people across the country and have them like individually tailored recommendation for the routes that they can take and visit various places depending on the density of the crowd in each of the sector within Qatar or within the city of Doha. The customer are the individuals, friends, families, tourists that are coming to the country that will be attending the World Cup. So the monetization model will be a subscription for additional or special or premium routes, as well as subscription to businesses who would like to have the routes passes their destination and having their brandings on the map on the route. So they will be like deriving those customers to their shops. So yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We had our timer glitch on us, but that was just about 1 minute. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for helping develop the sports tech ecosystem development in Qatar. We look forward to staying in touch with you. Your pitch and your concept card is well received. It will be considered. and we'll reach back out to all of you in terms of the outcome and next steps. Now, I believe we've gotten a few more concept cards. Is this the final one? Or we have oh, nice, excellent. So we have a couple more to go. That's exciting. Good to see that people stayed along and submitting those ideas. Up next is Afreem. Afreem, can you please speak once you're unmuted, if the technical team can assist? Please. Afreem, are you there? Let me see.
Hello.
There we go, Afreem. Thank you for joining. I'm going to go ahead on your slide.
Good evening.
You have 1 minute to go over your idea with us.
Okay. Hi, so I'll start now. My name is Afreem Yusuf, and my idea is to develop a bilingual app to train cognitive skills of brain, which can enhance the athletic performance. My user or customer will be the athletes, whether it's professional or amateur, and it will provide during the time of isolation or in the time of the injury, when athletes cannot do the physical activity, they can use this they can use the Brain Endurance app to train anywhere and everywhere. This is like my app. The idea comes around that the brain is the most important part, and that's the most ignored part during the training. Through this app, we can develop the cognitive skills and thus enhance the physical performance of our training. Through this app, the feature is the bilingual app where the athletes can perform the trainings with expert-made exercises, and they can collect the points while performing the challenge, and also the app can provide the analytical data to the coaches to further track their progress.
All right, Afreem, thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for your great pitch. It will be considered and we will analyze your concept card along with the other ones. We do appreciate your contribution today and your time. It goes without saying that it is difficult to get on this virtual platform and experience the same thing as you would in person. So it is a bit different to try to get creative and bring out those ideas, but this was a great idea. Thank you for sharing it with us today. I would like to move on to, I believe it is the last speaker, is that it?
So there's Sivan Nada, but she did not.
Okay, so can I just maybe make a Sivan Nada? We received a concept card, but it's blank. You might have to resend it. Let me get out of this presentation mode. Oh, yeah, so Suvanada, we did not receive anything. Unfortunately, it did not come through. You might have to do it again, but while we do that, is there anyone else that is okay, so let me just get out of presentation mode. This is the challenges of doing it in real time. And I have one more person. Is it ready to, okay, so it is not ready to pitch. So let me just keep it on this thank you slide while we get that ready. So again, I'd like to take a moment to just thank every single one of you and I share some of my personal experience while we're waiting for the final participants. I think Fahid has his hand up. I'm not sure if Fahid has a pitch deck that is sent in, but we're just trying to get the information into the slide. So Fahid, thank you for raising your hand. You'll be speaking in just a second. But for those of you that are still on the call, I just want to let you know that, along my personal journey as an entrepreneur, I've had many times that I've been accepted, rejected, started a business that failed, started a business that raised millions of dollars. And it's all about ups and downs on this journey. So don't take anything today personally. It's all about just consistently trying to achieve those goals. I believe we have Fahid that is up. We also have Winter. Is it Winter? Is the correct one? All right, so can we get Winter unmuted and ready to pitch us in 1 minute? Can we get the timer also going? once Winter is started. So Winter, can you please speak up once you're unmuted? Winter, do we have you?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, excellent. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I didn't hear those before me, and
No
I
problem.
was experiencing some difficulties, so I quickly was able to get an idea in. But my idea is to allow fans to interact with their athletes in real time from home. So regardless of their situation, whether it's a social distancing situation or perhaps even abroad, maybe this can be something, you know, if you're far away, you can still support your home team by interacting within your app or within the application, and then in real time, the athletes or at the sporting event, they are able to hear cheers and perhaps even see, like if it's a board, some type of color board where they see their team's colors. I saw this while watching something similar while watching the NBA finals this year, where people were able to, from home, they were able to sit at their screen and cheer, and they had this fan board, like a virtual seat. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I know it's tough to get that pitch squeezed into 1 minute. It hurts me to have to cut you off, but I just want to play it fair. Do appreciate your submission. Great pitch. Thank you for sharing that with us. Cool idea. And what we'll do is consider it along with all the other submissions made today. And I do thank you for your time and your contribution. And bearing with us given the technical challenges around this workshop. With that being said, I think we have our final contribution for tonight, which is from Mr. Fahid himself. If I'm pronouncing it right, I do have this infamous.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Fahid, we have you here. We did receive it in PDF, so we're just copy pasting it, and I'm going to put it on the screen. Let's get that 1 minute timer going. And please, Mr. Fahid, please explain your idea to us in 1 minute.
Okay. The idea is actually building a social engagement platform for football fans to engage with their favorite teams. So it is going to be an in-app game where they will predict the games and they earn a certain coins to redeem favorite t-shirts of their footballers or any of the merchandise that the football teams is willing to put it up into the market. And the kind of business model monetization plan is to come up with coins, and where fans can buy these coins to redeem a favorite t-shirt or a favorite football from the football teams.
All right. Well, you finished 10 seconds ahead of time. I do appreciate that, and very straightforward, and appreciate you showing us that flow chart. And thank you for your contribution. It will be considered amongst the rest of the submissions. Now, I just want to double check with our team here. Do we have any ideas that have come in? We still have that one that was from, I believe it was Salvananda. We do apologize. It has just come to us as blank. It is not. There is no document that could be read. So I will stop sharing my screen and take a few moments to thank everyone again. Thanks to QDB for organizing this amazing Rawad experience virtually. And this is one of the most popular events, at least from that I've experienced in Doha. Great experience for the past few years that I've seen it, and much more before I originally come across. And so thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for sending in your ideas. We will sit back with the team and look at them carefully, as we have done in the past and recently Suhail and other hackathons, and get back in touch with you. We will communicate with all of you. Look out for email either from Rayan, our program associate, or Shema, our operations associate, or myself. getting in touch with you to carry the journey of this idea to the next step, possibly cohort 2 of our pre-accelerator program, and to also look out for the winner of this competition. There were quite a few submissions given the limitations, so we will consider a winner out of the, I believe it was 6 submissions, 7, nice. So thank you. Thanks to the team. Thanks for everyone for all your hard work. Thank you for giving 2 hours of your time out of these busy COVID days. And I wish you all the best. Again, like I mentioned before, we're familiar faces in a small town with big ambitions and big vision. And we're reachable here at Aspire. So please do pass by, have a cup of coffee with us here in the Aspire zone, I believe.
Winter had another.
Okay, Winter had a second idea. Winter, we will consider your second idea, but because you already did go up once, we'll just try to limit it to that for today. But if you are curious to learn more about the accelerator program and pre-accelerator program, do visit our website and get in touch with us. That goes for everyone else as well. So we've reached the 8 o'clock mark. In terms of timing, I think we've done great. So round of applause for everyone. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for QDB team. I know there's usually an outro music or something that would be a lot more impressive, but I think we're just going to go into the silence of this cyber world and back to our regular lives. All right, everyone. Wish you all the best. It was good seeing you and well, chatting with you at least. And looking forward to staying in touch.